With the budget set to be read in Parliament on September 26, reporter Kimberly De Souza discussed some of the key expenditure items with the head of the Catholic Education Board, Mrs. Sharon Mangroo.
The education sector has commanded a large portion of the budget allocation over the years. For fiscal 2021 to 2022, education and training was allocated $6.886 billion. Spending with a focus on school repairs and e-learning as students and teachers learn to adapt to a digital space in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. But with schools fully opened, Chief Executive Officer of the Catholic Education Board of Management, Mrs. Sharon Mangroo, believes the ministry may need to focus its efforts on the special needs of children.
Now, those learning needs may be something that is inherent to the child alone, or it could be something that is brought about because of the environment in which the child operates. It could be the home environment, the community environment, and so on. And so we need to pay attention to that. But we also need to provide the resources in the school where we have the most control.
Mrs. Mangroo believes that teachers may need to focus their attention on students who were not at school during the pandemic, particularly those in primary schools.
And so we need to look at what the students missed, not only in terms of academic, because learning facts, figures, that, you could pick that up later, but learning, being in a social environment, learning at school, things that we tend to take for granted.
Mrs. Mangroo also believes students need to learn how to use the technology for their academics.
Because the reality for most of these children is that at home, they are dealing with a digital environment. Not everybody, but many of the children. And so in school, this needs to be part of what they do, but they need to see how to use that digital environment that they're so accustomed to benefit their learning.
But Mrs. Mangroo says there is light at the end of the tunnel once the necessary systems are put in place. I am Kimberly De Souza for TTT News.